Oh, hi there, and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Lights. Band is back together post Cheltenham. Gavin and Johnny rejoining me. How are you guys? You alright?
Boy band, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
After Cheltenham.
Big smile on your face.
How was Cheltenham for you?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I wish I had the striker that had it Dundalk on Monday, the rest of the week at Cheltenham, but no, I'll take it. Johnny, you alright?
Geez, Dundalk on Monday seems a long time ago. The last time I saw
You did a lot
Gavin,
of living between then and now.
I did. He gave me 2 bags to hold in the press room in Cheltenham, and the late, you know the way they're very officious in England at the races. She was a little bit suspicious about the 2 bags, but it was only your underwear, wasn't it, and stuff like that.
2 Irish guys carrying bags in Cheltenham,
yeah. But great week. Yeah, great week.
Good. Well, let's get down to it here with this first in the card. It's not the greatest claimer ever to be run on the stand at Dundalk. Dave Murnane, perhaps, he has the run of this race. And although we're hoping for Shawnee to come back to a bit of form, we're probably asking for quite a bit of it.
How many claimers have they had at Dundalk? It just seems to be every week the first race is a bad claimer. But, you know, it's not the worst type of race. She's Diesel, isn't Diesel, but she might be good enough to win this.
Gavin?
Well, Dude and Shawnee are just too keen. The two of them they're losing the plot a little bit early on in the races, so a small each way selection would be Midnight Mud Crabs. You won a claimer, as Johnny said, there's plenty of them back in October. Was second to Reckless Lad over a mile ahead of Shawnee that day, back to 7, maybe Midnight Mud Crabs.
Cool, let's move on to the second race of the evening. This 6 o'clock, the 45 to 70. Ger Lyons, top one here, it's all a joke. Dropped £5. Claiborne winner last time out. I mean, I kind of narrowed it down to those two. Anything else jump out for you?
No, I think I fancy 3 horses for the night, and one of them is Claiborne. He's had 5 career starts, 2 at 5, 2 at 6. The last day was his first run at, 2 at 5, 2 at 7, and the last day was his first run at 6. He previously had ran okay against older horses. The last day won well. It's £5 higher. Similar draw to the last day. Breaks very, very well. So Claiborne for me.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm with Claiborne as well, and it holds Downtown Diva on previous form, which is, I think Downtown Diva is the biggest danger here. And the trainer Davison looking for his first winner, but he's only just started off. I forget he has a connection to some other trainer locally, but this horse has been running very well, but I think Claiborne just looks pretty unexposed. Remember, it was well backed on debut as well, so they thought a bit of it. And a big weekend for the Bunyan Yard with the horse running in Dubai as well. Indeed. Next weekend, rather.
He's a proper sprinter. I mean, if ever there could be a home winner of the first sprint Group 1 in Ireland, it'd be nice to see him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Projecting a little bit there, but
well, the flat starts on Sunday.
Exactly, and I think, that you would assume is hit the bids ultimate aim. But whether he's good enough for that, we'll have to see. Anyway, let's move on to the 6:30. This one, 45 to 65, 6 furlongs ahead of them here. Silk Cravat here now with the Gagan Yard. Gary Halpin on board puts on a similar winning mark to his last time. Anything stand out for you?
No, I'll be having no bet in this race. Just a selection might be Lily's Prince. 6 last time out over 7. Previously was second over 6. Bien Chase, Silk Cravat and Geological were beside each other when they're behind Master Speaker. It looks a poor race, but if they go quick, Lily's Prince might come late.
Pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Johnny?
I think Geological is rock solid here. How about that?
I see.
I like that one.
That's good.
He's actually not rock solid, but he was a horse that was bought for 900 guineas, I think, and he's won over 100 grand. He's the best story of horse racing ownership I can think of. I remember when he was bought, they thought that he must have had a giant hole in his stomach or something. It was like, he came out of Richard Hannon's, he was rated 80 or something.
Richard Hannon's has so many horses though. A lot of
horses who come from big yards I think horses come from big yards and people think, oh, they can't be improved. That's not actually the case. In any event, this horse, if he can get out in the front end under the boy Mooney, I think he's a reasonable chance. He's a class act in a bad race.
It's a bad race.
Yeah, on to the median auction race. Kind of strange conditions here. Irish Minister has, about 9 or so lengths to find with Zeba here. Can he find it?
This thing has to win, doesn't it?
Zeba has to win, yeah.
What price will it be? But it's a certain
4 to 7?
Yeah, maybe 2's on or whatever. But
the only thing is you can say it's given weight to the Irish Minister.
It's given £5 to Irish Minister and £10 to the Jazz Lady at the bottom. It's entered next month in the Gladness Stakes, the Group 3 at the Curragh, and it's entered in the Irish Guineas. Zeba will win.
Will win?
Yes.
What price would it be for you to not back it?
I usually don't back odds on, but I might make an exception. 2's on to be value, it'll win, I'd say.
Would you think 2's on to be value? Put into an accum?
Yeah.
In fairness, Irish Minister, he's knocking on the door, but the Port Lines form even, just Zeba has completely holds his horse in every bit of form. And
that was over 7 and the mile at suit.
He was smashed in the betting that night, so he's obviously shown plenty. And at the time, Port Lines, who obviously won since didn't look as kind of frustrating.
And
as
if there's ever a trainer to back at the very start of the flat
Yeah.
season, it would be Fozzie Stack. Right, let's move on to this handicap. 12 of them got a post as 45 to 65 over a mile. A couple of jockey bookings stood out for me. Kevin Manning doing very light at this stage of the season. Also, Pat Smullen reunited with Fastidious. Gav.
What do you think, Johnny?
I have this down to 2 horses, actually.
Good man.
It's not a good race, but Vanderbilt has a chance. Now, it came from, we're talking about switching yards. Dennis Hogan had this for a fair while. Dennis, of course, had his first graded winner yesterday. He couldn't get a win out of it, which was a little bit of a worry, but did shape well second time for the Murphy yard. And Don O'Connor, to me, is one of the best jockeys in the circuit, full stop. But I'm actually going with Crescendo here. I think Crescendo is very, very ordinary, but he's Colin Keane to help him. A mile is totally his trip. Gavin Cromwell's been trying him over further. I don't think he stays. He was ex-Jim Bulger. He has enough form to go very close, and I think this race is going to be run to suit with He's Our Music in it and a few others. I don't think Fastidious really gets a mile. That's the issue. If he is backed, he's never won over a mile. Now, he's hardly tried it, but he hasn't proved he stays.
Gavin?
Vanderbilt is eye catcher the last day for Pat Murphy, who's had a very good
winter, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a few nice winners up in Dundalk. I'm going to tip up Fastidious. As Johnny says, he's never won over a mile. He's won 4 times, all over 7. He's getting older, and as happens most of us, he's probably gone a bit slower, but he might stay a bit further. Pat Smullen rides. He was drawn 14 in December. He was a huge eye catcher in January, and then the last day he drifted on Betfair quite a lot when he was favourite. He's drawn 5. If he sits second, maybe to He's Our Music, he might just stay the mile.
Good stuff. On to the Apprentice Handicap then at 8 o'clock, and lots of familiar faces here. You're looking for an alternative market in this,
I think there should be a market here, Johnny. I was saying to Tom earlier, there should be who's going to lead it halfway. It should be 7-4 each of 3. Carried, Commander 1 and Sharjah.
Carried was a funny one the last day because he looked like he was going to be swamped, and then he sort of ran on again. And I think the rider the last day went hard on him, thinking, that's just the way you ride him, but he may have gone a little bit too hard. He's very genuine. I actually think Uncle Henry's a great bet here because I know Gavin either tipped him or napped him the last day over 2 miles. But for a horse with so little handicap experience, maybe the 2 miles wasn't totally ideal, but back to a mile and a half. He was hot favourite over this trip the time before in a handicap. And all of these, Carried, Shan Van Eyck, Duke of Waspington, Sharjah, just familiar faces. Uncle Henry's unexposed, and Joseph on the cusp of a big season on the flat. I think he's one of the bets of the night. Yeah,
I'd agree with Uncle Henry. As I said, the 3 up front, Carried, Commander 1 and Sharjah are probably going to make it a very fast run race. It'll turn into a stamina test probably, and Uncle Henry the last day, it got outdone, but it finished clear over 2 miles, so a fast run race would suit, so Uncle Henry,
Good stuff. Right, on to the Maiden at 8:30, and Chateau Lafleur kind of jumps off the page, given her page.
Literally jumps off the
page. Jumps off the page. Entered in the Irish Guineas, cost 900,000 in book 1.
Close relative of a very good horse, Aidan O'Brien.
Ernest Hemingway.
And basically, I think this is good placing by DK because instead of maybe running in a nice flat race at the start of the turf season, he's gone to Dundalk. He doesn't target Dundalk at all, Dermot Well. He's a bad record in Dundalk, really, and make of that what you will. But this horse, as you say, 900 grand. I think Frankel is going to be a sensational stallion. I really do. I think people probably have been expecting too much of him. I think his horse is just.
He has been sensational.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's been so well supported.
What's he done wrong?
Well, he's spent every night with the equivalent of every night he's gone he's made love, shall we say? He's been with a supermodel, so he's bound to produce some good progeny. But this horse, I just think they want time and distance, or certainly distance. I think actually. Just on this, right, Dermot Well is a horse by Frankel called Contingent.
Yes.
Who I think is going to be really, really good this year, and I backed it for the Oaks. And people are telling me it might go down the Guineas route.
Does he not have, was it Cush Goyer or something for the Guineas as well? The other
Cush Goyer was
a Bulger horse.
The Bulger horse back in the day.
He has another.
Cogorgicus, maybe?
No, the name coming to me.
In any event, if you're listening, Dermot, please target the Oaks with Contingent. Frankel, half-sister to a stayer over a mile and a half. Do you remember the maiden she won?
Sorry,
Cara Luna. Yeah, remember the maiden she won at Leopardstown? Yeah. She went wide the whole way. She basically went 9 furlongs as a 2-year-old, bolted up from 18, wide, gate 18. Please, Dermot, if you're listening, and I know he's a big fan of what's this show called again? But anyway, Chateau Lafleur should win this race.
If Chateau Lafleur doesn't win this race,
double it up with contingent for the Oaks.
Oh, I was going to say double it up with Fozzie stacks earlier on in the card.
Okie doke.
Chateau Lafleur will win. Draper's Guild.
She could be the best tourist. Well, obviously with Mendelssohn a couple of weeks ago, but
who could be going to Dubai and then on to the Kentucky Derby.
In fairness, he said the Kentucky Derby in Del Mar for him, so
won't get a mile and two.
Big shout.
Just in case Aidan's watching.
Yeah, he was also a massive fan of the show.
What a visit to the yard, by the way. It's unbelievable.
I know, I saw you in every single shot.
Aidan was in great form.
You were like an owl on his shoulder. You were just there in every single shot.
Yeah.
He won't get 10 furlongs, Aidan.
He won't. He won't get 10 furlongs.
Anyway, can we see beyond Chateau Lafleur in the 8:30?
No.
Okie doke. Let's move on to the last race then, because this is tricky enough. Pins falling on New Life here for me for Declan Hogan. Your thoughts?
No bet. I'll suggest maybe pass the ball. He's had 3 runs on the handicaps Dundalk. Eye catcher over 7, too keen on the next 2 starts. Was second over 12, and the last day he made all when he just was way too keen. Ran no race whatsoever. It's drawn 4 this time, so if it got held up along the rail back in 7th or 8th and settled, maybe pass the ball, but tricky.
Johnny?
I like a horse in this actually, but I will have a saver on pass the ball, who was obviously a bit of a sore one the last time. I think we both backed it.
Yeah.
Park Row. I actually had one of my biggest wins at Dundalk when this horse won maybe 2 years ago, and he was fresh on that occasion, and he literally won in a photo. It was agonising. I was watching it on the dart, travelling from. I did the Bray Greystones walk with a girl, right? And I was like, I really want to watch this race.
This is a really romantic story. I mean,
but I was on the 4G, right, watching the race, and you know the way the dart on the south side dart, it goes through tunnels and all this. It basically, we came into Blackrock and it just went blank, right? And it was about 4 furlongs to go in the race. And I was like, so what do I do? Wait. So you wait like 20 seconds to see if it comes back. Didn't come back. So I was like, I had to cycle home an hour later to watch the replay. Didn't know the results. Watched the replay. Saw the photo finish. Watched on at the races. Photo finish. And then the video just stopped. So it wouldn't actually say the results. So I was like, I still don't know if I won. Had to check sportinglife.com or racingpost.com. And it did win. And hopefully it can win tomorrow.
Well, and that's ladies, what happens in a date with
But
Johnny.
a last
walk in the afternoon followed by a 4G video replay.
We went to the Happy Pair for a little bit of grub, and we met David Jennings' future wife.
There you go.
There you go. All in a day's work. And Park Row won.
Oh, we got to have dates with Johnny as a separate drop-in into this show. Let's get some best bets for the week.
The best bets.
Start off.
You're going with...
I'm going with Zeba, Claiborne,
Very
and
short
Chateau Lafleur.
Zeba and Chateau, you're giving two of your best 3 are definitely going to be odds on.
Odds on, yeah.
I'm going to go for a bit of value.
They'll win.
The nap is going to be pass the ball on the basis of that trip to Bray. The next
You
best...
just said that you were back on the other one.
Sorry, Park Row.
Park Row.
The nap is Park Row. The next best is Uncle Henry. And the third... Zeba is a good thing. Let's put that in for number 3.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'm at Chateau Lafleur, Silk Cravat, and It's All a Joke.
You have to give yours, do you? Or did you give them?
He did. He gave his 2 5s on.
Just wrapped up in my pass the ball, Park Row, whatever it was.
Dart love story.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, well, tune in next week for more Johnny's dating stories and hopefully a few winners as well on Dundalk. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See ya.